That said, it is now finally time to go into our lobby. I believe we will be starting picks and bans pretty much momentarily. Thank you all for putting it with us. I'm sure, as you can tell, we've been trying to buy a lot of time. We probably spent more time talking about this upcoming game than actually we will see in the game itself, but that is all right. Picks and bans underway, and straight off, Jax is not going to be available for Forest Lake.
Yep, Jax, very flexible pick. Could be top lane, jungle, pretty much. No, every lane, very flexible and late game, early game carry that could scale incredibly well into the late game once he gets that 2-3 item power spike. And again, we have Zed ban. Zed, one of the AD assassins been terrorizing mid lane lately. It's Zed Talon that we can think of for AD assassins. Master E ban. Ooh.
What I'm finding interesting about these bans already is that these are some of those one tricks I had brought up before. So we're actually not seeing meta bans as much as we are seeing targeted bans. It tells me that these teams have done their researches on their opponents, but it also means that these teams are going to be off balance. Because the champ pools were so narrow in this one, both of these teams are already going to have to be really innovative in how they play this game. Vel'Koz was the big one. Ooh. That one for Applesbrew was like, essentially, I'm like, okay, this is the only champion this guy plays. And Vel'Koz is really hard to play around and like build a team comp around, especially when it's a mid lane Vel'Koz. So I'm very curious where Ormiston is going to go from here. I think this first pick will tell us a lot about them.
Yasuo.
Okay, let's see if it is locked in. All right.
Oh boy.
All right, look. I have in my notes, because sometimes I like to run fun little things. Remember Trust and Sponkle from the final? Well, here's what I wrote about F14. Knows how to Yas.
Great research, straight to the point.
Yeah, great research. He knows how to Yas. And it's been reflected with that priority pick locked in. He's very competent on the champion. He has high CS per minute. I'll come back to him later because there are some flaws I did think I noticed, but we need to focus on Forest Lake right now and how they are picking, because they're not picking for lane. They're picking, what they feel will be strong. Kaisa, one of the best AD carries at the moment, and Volibear, he's been rising the meta a lot recently.
What's happening? Yeah, I've seen, especially during our high school league semifinals and finals, we've been seeing a lot of Volibear in play. And maybe it's because of TFT, as you said.
Yeah, maybe they're going to try to adapt the Volibear in TFT style into this game here. If we see a rapid fire cannon on the bear, I will be very shocked and concerned. Udyr, though, will be locked in. He is one of the champions Lolitron does enjoy. Lolitron, it's a bit surprising with him because I felt that he plays a lot of every role, but Udyr is one of those couple jungles that he did seem to favor to in his solo queue. I'm not seeing a lot of harmony between this team, especially if the Caitlyn got locked in. I feel like Ormiston is kind of just taking champions that they're comfortable with that might not synergize together.
With the Yasuo team comp, you really want that kind of guaranteed knock-up. It's very important to get the guaranteed knock-up at least onto a carry, especially during team fights. For example, synergies I can think of are very easy Sejuani. Lee Sin's kick, very strong to lock down with Yasuo. And with this, it's very individual playstyle, I would say, for the team comp. You don't really see a synergy just yet. And with Udyr, there are two very different playstyles. You have the Tiger stance, which is very aggressive, early game focus, and the Phoenix stance, which is more kind of AoE, farm, and be more tanky throughout the whole fight. However, we do see, Sylas picked up.
Yeah, that might be a jungle Sylas. If so, I'll be very excited to see it in action. More bans coming down, Morgana and Blitzcrank being taken away. Blitzcrank recently becoming super popular with his ability to sort of just burst shields down off of this new patch. Morgana and Lux, two of those range supports, which Nuff kind of seems to favor. Again, he has a very limited match history. I think there's only like 3 games on it. One of those games was Lux, one of those games was Morgana. So, all right, we're taking those off the table. We're getting rid of what we've been able to find from him. Continuing on with Forest Lake, I feel as if their team is maybe looking a bit more meta. I still feel until we know the supports from each squad, we really won't know what they're trying to achieve. A Malphite locked in.
Malphite, very safe and tanky top laner who can definitely do the wonders in a team fight with the ulti. But you know what I'm seeing here? Sylas, he's already lost an ulti from the opponent team. The Udyr ult really won't be doing much for him.
No, but
Yasuo ult.
Yasuo ult could do a lot, as could that Cho'Gath ultimate, being able to devour. I've seen those YouTube videos where Sylas just get massive after stealing from Cho'Gath over and over again. I'm excited to see if VeryBadBunny can get to that stage. Although you do bring up the Yasuo ultimate, I feel that might be more relevant because really looking at Forest Lake's side, they're better suited to support a Yasuo right now, right? You have the Malphite, you have the Volibear. I'm curious who will go on support right now.
And we have the Alistar.
Like, the Yasuo comp is on the red side. It's not on the blue side. Instead, we saw a Sona locked in for Ormiston. I was actually hoping to see the Nautilus.
You know, if you take the S and L from Sylas' name, you get a Yas.
True.
So, you know,
true. If you
get Yas.
If you also swap the Sylas with the Yasuo, then you get a Yasuo as well on the side.
Perfectly built team for Yasuo, however, does not. Maybe on the side of Forest Lake, they decided, we want to run a Yasuo team comp, but Yasuo got taken. What do? We steal Yasuo.
Yeah, we take Sylas. We take Sylas because that Yasuo is going to go mid. With Cho'Gath locked in, that's probably where F14 is going to be, running their Cho'Gath. And with an Udyr in the jungle, that does force the Yasuo into the mid lane. Sylas is most likely going to be there as well. I'm assuming the Volibear will be the jungle pick. In the past, we had been seeing the Volibear top, but with Malphite locked in, it does kind of force the Volibear into the jungle. It does force Sylas into mid lane. And this is where the Sylas wants to be. If you are Forest Lake, you want VeryBadBunny to have easy access to the Yasuo to steal that ultimate and play the Yasuo comp with a different champion. Very exciting stuff out of this Forest Lake. This was a very interesting pick and ban. It does leave me very concerned, though, for Ormiston.
Ormiston, they do slightly round off their team comp with the pick of Cho'Gath for the tankiness and the knock-up silence with the Sona ulti to 5-man lockdown. So they do slightly round it off. However, it's still a very, what I like to call, solo queue team comp. So if they do get the early leads, they definitely can do the snowball. However, we're definitely looking like Alistar, Sylas, Volibear, Malphite, they're very tanky champions. So they won't be getting the leads that easily, especially early if they build some tankiness with it.
Yeah, no, they definitely don't want to be looking for, I believe, a lot of those team fights. Ormiston, very much so a win lane, win game type situation. The longer they can delay Forest Lake into grouping by keeping the map spread out, by keeping the pressure on, the better Ormiston will be. And they have a team comp that could do it. It's easy to set up the 1-3-1 with what they have. Like Yasuo can control the side lane, as can Udyr. Yeah. And then you have a very safe AD carry, can clear waves just by sitting back in order to get to LonelyNumber, or I guess going to get to Applesbrew. They may have done a little bit of switch around there. You'll have to fight through a Cho'Gath and fight through a Sona, so the Sona will provide the peel, the Cho'Gath provides that tank. It's definitely possible. I just feel it's a lot harder team comp to play out compared to what we see out of Forest Lake.
Yeah, Forest Lake, very simple, kind of get the level 6, get the team fights going, survive until mid-game, and then you can pretty much just win the game from there. So Ormiston is definitely going to come down to Lolitron to get that early lead and to secure the snowball leads that they really need onto their solo laners, especially with Caitlyn. Caitlyn, you really want the early Caitlyn scaling and the bullying onto the Kai'Sa to stop the Kai'Sa from scaling too hard into the mid-game. So a very strong Caitlyn in the mid-game could be very good for sieging or even just for defense, especially for sieging, honestly, with the traps. But these games, definitely relying on the jungler. Lolitron versus Ractic, especially for the first, I'll say, 3-4 minutes.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. A famous play-by-play caster once said these 3 words that have kind of, for those of you who follow professional League of Legends, iconic, and something that I might be emulating in this game. Flash, bear, slap. I'm of course referring to Quickshot from the LEC, and this is something which is going to be super relevant in this game, especially if Ormiston is going to establish that early game lead. He needs to be making those plays, he needs to be getting in his opponent's face, but as an Udyr, early game, there's only one way to do it. Flash, bear, slap. However,
the other
Ractic,
side,
we also have a bear who, I guess that's flash, bear, flip.
You still slap?
I guess, yeah, it's kind of slap.
I don't know. You can slap them on both sides of the face and then flip them.
I think, yeah, maybe. Either way, we're going to see some bears flashing all over the place in this one. I am sure about it. Both of these junglers really might actually struggle getting to where they want to be just because of the lack of mobility each champion possesses. It's why I feel this game could come down to the case of better jungle actually wins. Whoever can find those opportunities and then capitalize on them a bit more efficiency will do massive amounts of work into putting their team ahead.
Yeah, but I'm going to place my bets right now that Lolitron will find Ractic in the top river Scuttle Crab.
Okay.
And then that's how the game will break.
Yes, but who wins that fight?
I'm putting my bets on Ormiston just because they have the early shove going on in pretty much both of the mid and top lanes, the early shove. Cho'Gath, very simple champion to shove, W, Q, E, or AoE, and very strong sustain. So he won't be scared to trade against the Malphite, who can only wait for 10 seconds for the little shield to pop up. That's the only regen that Malphite really has. So Ormiston definitely has the early, I guess, pressure, you would say.
Ooh. As we are getting into game right now, so yeah, definitely feel as if that early game is going to be going the blue side's way. Can they transition it into a late game lead? What I find interesting right now, Forest Lake moving as a squad of 5. Ormiston need to be careful. They have not established, all of their protection just yet. So a open tri-bush, and this is a death bush. Applesbrew, you don't want to go there. Caitlyn able to flash over the wall, but the follow-up flashes come through. First blood already for Forest Lake.
Forest Lake, they are the late game team comp, but they do secure the early lead, and that definitely helps, especially with the early kill on the Volibear. He could back right now, pick up a health crystal. Actually, pick up that boots right now.
Yeah,
he's not going to.
He's not going to. Instead, he's going to opt to try and defend his own jungle, I guess. We won't be seeing that gold advantage till much later. And really, as a result of this, because the Volibear isn't backing, in fact, no one is, it's actually not that huge of an advantage to Forest Lake. What we're going to see is, no extra gold be applied to the level 1. This is interesting. I still feel as if Ormiston is in full control of this early game despite that first death.
Yeah, until Volibear decides to back, there really isn't that specific advantage for Forest Lake. And we do see, both junglers starting very standard camps. Udyr on the red buff, Volibear on the blue buff with the help of their bot lane. So now both teams will know where the enemy jungler has started by seeing their bot lane mana usage. Ooh, aggressive.
Yeah, aggressive play in the mid lane. Speaking out more with the jungling though, and something that I kind of want to be critical about both teams with for that initial play, look at the vision, or in this case, lack thereof. Ormiston did not do a good job of capitalizing on the 5-man invade which was spotted. They did not get the wards to sort of track the opponent's jungler. Similarly, Forest Lake, they got in there, they got the kill, but they didn't get any deep wards of themselves. So really, both junglers have potential to be blind. You can make assumptions as to where they are, but there's no confirmation. There's no jungle tracking at the moment. And as a result, I'm curious to see if this will reflect how these laners play. At the moment, it doesn't seem it, as Forest Lake is actually getting quite aggressive already, despite Udyr being on the bot side of the map. So, I don't know. Very, very interesting to see.
Both junglers pretty much paralleling, mirroring each other in terms of jungle clip, with Volibear slightly faster. Oh, mid lane Sylas getting pushed down by Yasuo a little bit. But, bot lane, I'm really looking for the Alistar to go all in onto the Sona right now. Sona, one of the lowest base HPs in the game.
I mean, you definitely feels like Force want to make this all in play right now. Nuff, a little bit low health, still has 2 health pots though, still has flash. So maybe they can get some early summoners, but with Volibear working the opposite end of the map, I don't actually feel that kill pressure is there just yet. I'd like to see him work the bot lane down and then look for that kill. The other thing which actually I find interesting right now is that this mid lane interaction, Sylas and Yasuo, so F14 and VeryBadBunny, seem more interested in almost fighting with each other than they do for going to CS every time we come to that lane.
I mean, the dominance you assert onto your enemy with the poke is a lot more impactful on the mental state.
Oh, here we go. The junglers running into each other at the, that top scuttle, as you predicted. Ractic already low health, but you have to be a bit careful. It does not matter. That is 1 kill aside at the moment. F14 and VeryBadBunny, the mid laners, are still going to fight. They each have double buff, but VeryBadBunny doesn't seem to want to fight. He's more keen on trying to run away, but his health bar is just getting whittled down. He is too slow to escape from that red buff. A lot of damage. F14 looking for the tower dive, drops the ignite, but does not have the damage, and the return tower does. So a kill going to Forest Lake in the end.
Yep. A very bad situation that looked for Forest Lake. However, they turned it around through some miraculous escape and a little bit of bait on the tower. They turned it around 2-1 to their favor, and the double buffs on Sylas' side. Sylas we've seen getting poked around and shoved around by Yasuo a little bit in the early game. However, with that advantage that he just secured for himself, definitely can look to start reinforcing his dominance in the lane.
And that was such a misplay by F14. The damage wasn't there at the moment. VeryBadBunny used flash. You had won that interaction. You got what you wanted, but instead F14 opts to follow up, tries to continue.
Slap?
Flashbear slap a 10? Well, flash is down, so we won't be seeing it in the top lane this time around. I still can't believe you got that prediction right with both the junglers running into each other on that top lane scuttle. What I'm more surprised about was the fact that like each jungler did go down in the ensuing fight. They were both so low and they went for it anyways. To me, that tells me this game has potential to be very bloody.
Yeah, very bloody and very clown fiesta-y, as I like to call it. But Udyr, going back to the standard jungle clearing, it looks like he is going to be more interested in farming it out for now. And in terms of for Volibear's side, we actually get the Stalker's Blade picked up very early instead of the Balmy Cinder, which we've seen for tank jungle. It's very helpful, especially to Volibear. It's a very single target oriented jungler in terms of jungle clearing. And with the Stalker's Blade, we definitely want... Oh,
we definitely have a pause right now. Yeah, definitely with the Stalker's Blade, that tells me he will be quite aggressive in that situation right there. Hello, everybody. Something I also want to bring up, though, about that game, and what I think we're going to be seeing out of this Volibear jungle, out of Lolitron, is this sort of new Korea. I believe it started in Korea, the red buff only jungle, where you only farm the red buff side of the map, and you just consistently do that because it's actually a bit faster, as opposed to, you know, going across the entire jungle. So you like slowly get XP, well, more quickly get XP and quickly power farm that way. And then it also helps you camp sort of that one side of the map. It means that that side of the map is very risky at all times for their opponents to go to. It's been slowly rising in popularity. I've seen it a few times in professional play. I think it's risky to run it at this level. I think you'd be better off just being a bit more conventional, trying to play the entire map. But if this is what this Udyr is attempting to do, it might actually pay off for Ormiston because they are behind. If they can like sort of switch that around in one of their lanes, maybe that could be a catalyst for where they throw for themselves a solo kill for a VeryBadBunny, kind of out of nowhere, and all of a sudden this Sylas has 3 kills.
Yep, as I've said, Sylas right now very strong. Lost chapter picked up for Sylas against a Doran's Blade and
dagger. Oh, no dagger.
Ooh, Berserker Greaves first out on Yasuo. It's very greedy actually, because he is a bit behind in his lane right now, and I would have definitely recommended picking up the Hex Drinker as first item on Yasuo right now. Hex Drinker into Berserker Greaves would be much stronger and safer for the Yasuo. But if he's confident with the Berserker Greaves playstyle, definitely still there. But Sylas definitely starting to snowball a little bit.
And this is like essentially, you have to assume Sylas is actually a Yasuo, and they are playing a Yasuo comp. So getting the Sylas ahead only like increases the opportunities for Forest Lake to take this game over, especially as we are starting to hit level 6 in that mid lane, in that top lane as well. Unfortunately, the Venus does have teleport down, so we won't be seeing any teleport plays to mid lane. However, as soon as Malphite can start working with this Sylas, I think Forest Lake really starts to snowball this game. Mountain Drake helps this argument as well.
Mountain Drake just snowballs the game in terms of objective taking. 10% true damage, especially on this team comp with Kai'Sa. Very strong tower taker, and Sylas with the Sheen procs.
Yes.
There you go. Sheen procs. So Mountain Drake definitely a very strong overall dragon. However, Infernal definitely would have been the better dragon, but pray to RNGs that you don't always get what you want. But what I really would have liked to see right now is everyone going straight to that mid lane and seeing the Yasuo gameplay coming out of Forest Lake already.
Yeah, I think it's time to start playing towards that, though. What we might be seeing is a bit of a flash bear slap actually on the top side of the map right now. Lolitron has stepped forward. He has gotten the slap. No flash was needed, but Venus actually using the ultimate to escape. We didn't see it on camera, but that is what happened. So the Venus is fine. Flash is available for the Malphite. Will opt just to recall at this stage. I'm curious to see what will be bought. It appears it was a Balmy Cinder. I'm a little concerned by that buy, because to me it tells me that Malphite is going to be more concerned about trying to split push the side lanes as opposed to fighting as a team.
Balmy Cinder, pretty alright, but against Cho'Gath right now, his lane opponent, you really want to be grabbing the Mercury Treads early on, especially against Flash Bear Slap. Reduce that stun duration. Ooh.
Yeah, fun little duel happening in the mid lane. F14 actually going quite aggressive, but here comes help from Ractic up above. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, a bit of a headbutt pulverize. It doesn't really connect onto Applesbrew, but the target is switched to Nuff, or is it? Applesbrew getting right into BakaKami's face. They're doing so much damage to this Kai'Sa, and finally she falls. Applesbrew's dead one, and now Zmeuu is on his own. He will try to run away. The ultimate has been used. He's turning the damage around, but does not have enough to take down Nuff. 2 kills for the blue side.
Beautiful kiting coming out of Ormiston right there. Nuff just staying enough to stay alive. But Applesbrew playing that pretty well. Alistar does miss the pulverize onto him, but he turns that into his advantage and turns around with a great overall play. And now he has secured a lead for his team, which has been falling behind a little bit. Again, Caitlyn, you really want to be the early game ADC that gets the lead out of laning phase.
Yeah, that's actually a real slip up right there for Forest Lake. I feel they didn't really need to be that far forward at making those types of aggressive plays with mid lane going so well in their favor. That's who they should be looking to play around, as we're seeing VeryBadBunny going for the all-in right now, but it's getting turned around under the tower. Health bar's low, ignites have been dropped. It does not matter. The shutdown going over to F14, but there was a return kill thanks to that ignite. Meanwhile, on the top side, the flipping bear is here. LonelyNumber in a lot of trouble, tries to flash escape. A double rupture will enable LonelyNumber to walk away this time.
Beautiful escape coming out of LonelyNumber right there. However, in the mid lane, pretty much a Yasuo versus Yasuo bloodbath almost. Sylas doing very well, picks off the Yasuo ulti out of the E knockup, which is a very short duration actually. However, he did not calculate he would be under tower during the interaction. And Yasuo again, very nice reaction, turns it around and ults the Sylas on the tower. A 1v1 trade. However, Yasuo is very important for him to get that little bit of a comeback.
Yeah, this is, I feel going in Ormiston's and F14's favor, that interaction right there, especially with Forest Lake dropping a couple kills in the bot lane. Now they're dropping a kill or two in the mid lane, which has been their strong suit so far in this game. Ormiston really trying to find their way back into this one, and here we go. Nice slap right there. The junglers are going to go at it. It's a battle in the woods for the Bears, but help is arriving in the form of F14. Down goes Ractic, and VeryBadBunny, who arrives to the party too late, might be getting caught out as well. A double kill for Lolitron.
Wow. Lolitron really picking up the pace after the early endeavor of a 1-for-1 jungle trade. He finds Volibear, Ractic in the same situation actually. However, this time they get the collapse first. Yasuo gets the rotation first before the Sylas comes, and then they secure the easy double kill.
Yeah, definitely smart rotation coming out of Ormiston, and with that, they've actually taken a lead in regards to both kills and gold in this one. They are the more early game team. This is what we'd expect. Lolitron as well, kind of trying to get that sneak on the Venus, who will once again be able to walk away, this time able to save the ultimate. So I'm liking this proactive play coming out of Lolitron right now. I feel it's coming at the right time with everyone hitting level 6, hitting their ultimates, and Ormiston is trying to play to their, peak moments in this team comp.
Definitely. Bear slap. That's what I'm going to say. Oh, Volibear maybe going, oh no, he's backing off.
It's
not too much action as he places down the pink ward to find the vision ward coming out of Ormiston in the river rush. Oh, mid lane still a bloodbath as ever, trying to trade blows with each other. Yeah. Both level 9, and both has, I guess, their first item. However, Sylas does have the Luden's Echo, which is definitely a huge power spike for Sylas. That Q is going to hurt 120 more damage every time it procs.
Mana as well has just been picked up from BakaKami as well onto the Kai'Sa. So people like to call this the more late game scaling build.
Yeah. I really
disagree.
Don't like it. I really don't like it.
Well, I disagree in that it's the late game scaling build. I feel like it's a one item scale, because the second you get that Mana, I'm pretty sure you're able to instantly upgrade the Q, and that's just a massive power spike for the Kai'Sa. In that regards, I feel like, well, is it really scaling if you're getting a one item power spike? Yes, it gets stronger and stronger the later the game gets, but I feel it's strong already. I'm almost worried that Forest Lake can actually start fighting back against Ormiston now with the Luden's Echo finish in the mid lane, the Mana finish in the bot lane. No item yet for the Venus, but that's going to be coming off that next recall. I think if Ormiston wants to make a play for either the Rift Herald or the Dragon, they either need to do it now or be very cautious about it in the future.
Yeah. Mid lane still trading blows. However, talking about that Mana purchase on Kai'Sa, I'm really against it honestly, but it's definitely seeing a lot of play, and it definitely works. The Q, I believe, procs it multiple times with each projectile.
Yeah.
That's why the whole item is so popular. But spending 720 gold early on a tier on a really weak early game champion like Kai'Sa, you can only do it if you're really ahead or even going even in the lane. Kai'Sa is down a kill.
Yeah.
His 1 death against 2 kills onto the Caitlyn, but he is beating in terms of CS.
I think when the decision was made, though, to opt for the Mana Moon, that was when VeryBadBunny was sitting 3-0 and then nothing had happened in the bot lane. Meanwhile, a bit of action around this Cloud Drake, perhaps. It should get secured by Forest Lake. The steal attempt was close. Applesbrew now has to back away. The Yorl Trap is able to catch one, but he stayed too far forward. The headbutt pulverized, forcing out a flash from Applesbrew, but the follow-up flashes are there. A huge crescendo gets all 3, and it might be enough to save Applesbrew. A last flash does equal the death of the Caitlyn, so in the end, it is 1 for none. A near escape.
Flash bear, flip.
Flash bear flip
Flash
coming
bear
through.
Flip coming
it was
through.
the flash bear flip in the end, but really getting 3 flashes out in what looked like a terrible play, it could have been a lot worse as Venus dropping the ultimate a bit prematurely. A wonderful flash to get the follow-up on the blasting code, but it's the Krugs that get in the way. Venus still trying to escape, but another critical stun forces out the flash. The burn damage is not enough to take this Malphite down.
Wow, what? Oh, however, the team is collapsing onto the Malphite. They're looking for a dive.
Yeah, this is not going to end well for the Venus. Here comes F14, who doesn't have the damage, and VeryBadBunny is here. It looks like Forest Lake is going to turn this one around. Bad Bunny collects 1 and will back off with the chase for now. Ractic was there. They're not going to go for the dive.
Yeah, I think right there, Ormiston forgot what Malphite is famous for. Being an armor stacking tank.
Yes. Yeah, I feel as if that had been any other champion besides F14, that we'd be looking at a dead rock right now. However, because it's the Yasuo who's kind of behind, because it's the Malphite who opted for Sunfire Cave first, something we were critical of, he's actually A-okay.
He's a prophet.
Biggest brain right there.
5D chess right there. You could not know what he was thinking. From that lead coming from the top side, we do have a Rift Herald secured for Forest Lake, and it'll be very interesting to see where Forest Lake actually drops Shelly. Could be bot side, mid lane. That would be the best, and a tower planing has already gone down, so Shelly does lose some bit of that value. However, it'll be very good to open up the map pretty much any lane, mid, bot, even top, honestly. The Malphite could start going mid for the Yasuo gameplay.
Yeah, I mean, F14 is able to get that tower, but now he needs to get the hell out of dodge. He's already been surrounded by members from Forest Lake, and he's running towards the enemy base. The escape is not there unless the blasting code can come into use, but no, he's going to go straight through Ractic instead. But help from VeryBadBunny, the double Yasuo ult does mean the end to F14. However, the rest of Ormiston is there, but they're not going to continue the fight, instead opting to chase members away. Bot lane from Forest Lake has arrived. They're trying to catch Lolitron right now. They have not been spotted. Do we see the headbutt pulverized over the wall? Zmeuu is not going to commit for it, not without help from Ractic and VeryBadBunny, who are making their way down. This is like the setup for a fight, but really, what is it over right now? The tower is protected.
You know, whenever watching a Sylas play, I'm always really confused at which ulti he's actually using. In my mind right there, I was so confused why there was 2 Yasuo ultis popping off, but then I remember it was Sylas.
Yes.
However, Yasuo 2-5-2 and no, I would say, tanky items, for example. We have seen Yasuo players who have opted towards the tanky second item instead of the Infinity Edge.
Oh, headbutt pulverized connecting on to Applesbrew, and already he is brought down. Unfortunately, Zmeuu is the one who grabs the kill, but with no AD carry, that just leaves Nuff on his own against this incoming siege. Minions are making their way there, and I expect Forest Lake to make a push for this bot side tower.
This drops to Shelly right here. Oh no, Shelly does.
Shelly is currently with Volibear on the top half of the map. Perhaps a bit of a misplay out of Forest Lake in that regard. Not needed though, the tower already comes down.
Now, a piece of tower for each team evens it out. However, Ormiston does have the mid lane tower, which is the one that opens up the map. So much more important to them. However, right there, great teamwork coming out of Forest Lake right there. The collapse onto the Caitlyn pretty much made sure that she had no chance of getting out of there.
Yeah, it was a good collapse, one that I'm almost critical of Ormiston for falling for, but then again, why would they? I feel as if it's a bit surprising to see Forest Lake actually put priority on the bot side of the map, considering that's where they've been behind. Like, taking down that bot tower doesn't free up VeryBadBunny, who has that kill lead. Very aggressive play from the Venus. I'm a bit surprised by this one. Rupture coming down, buying some time, but here comes both junglers actually at the same time. They run into each other, whacking each other. LonelyNumber might be able to walk away, but because Lolitron is already so low, another clutch Rupture is able to make the save for his team, or is it? Ractic contemplating going under tower, not going to commit this time, but help is on the way from VeryBadBunny, making his way through the jungle. Pings are coming down because he has been spotted. As the Ormiston continues to fall back, this should be enough pressure to take down this top tower.
Forest Lake really picking up the pressure that they left behind in the early game. They're stacking up on kills, they're making the correct calls ganking, and they're making the more aggressive, the more proactive plays. And drops to Shelly as well as getting the top tier 2. They're looking for a tier 2 tower here.
Yeah, might as well. All 5 members from Forest Lake are currently on the top side of the map. And really, Ormiston, they're too late to react to it. Like you can see at the moment, Nuff is trying to back, but the tower is already gone. It could be Forest Lake trying to take some more as well. The ultimate on the Sylas is Yasuo's. This is that full team fight 5. They want this fight. And if Ormiston falls here, they could lose a lot. Forest Lake, it looks like they're going to back away now. They need to be cautious because Applesbrew is pushing on the opposite side.
Applesbrew does not falter, even though they're almost into their base. He sticks with his split push ADC, and he could trade a tier 2 tower for a tier 2, honestly. Oh, he decides to back off. Oh, goes back in.
Yeah, okay, well, he's waiting till he sees vision of Forest Lake before continuing the push. And yep, he's stepping right back into it. And really, at the moment, only Ractic is roaming down to deal with this Caitlyn. However, this could be a mistake. Lolitron may have been caught out. VeryBadBunny taking a lot of abuse from the tower, and a great wind wall does stop the damage coming from BakaKami. Meanwhile, Applesbrew and Ractic have gone to this fight. The Volibear is hungry, but steps into the bear trap. But with no tower to protect Applesbrew, a flash bear slap takes him down.
Out of the flash bear side, we're seeing a lot of that in this game. But right now, Forest Lake really dominating the game through their macro plays, getting the top side, dropping Shelly, taking a tier 2, rotating straight to mid.
Okay, Lolitron walking straight into the head, but pulverized from Zmeuu, but there's no help yet. Ractic trying to get there, but VeryBadBunny is caught in the crescendo. A huge kill being picked up by Lolitron, and they want more. In the end, though, it will be a 2-for-1, in fact, going in favor of Ormiston. The dragon is still standing, and everyone will walk away.
A 2-for-1? Oh, yeah. They also picked up, I believe, the Caitlyn in the mid lane by Yasuo and...
Well, the Caitlyn fell before to the Volibear.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, Applesbrew, remember? The Flash Bear Slap.
Yeah, the Flash Bear Slap. That's
you were just talking about it before we had
Flash Bear Slap right there. Man, Udyr versus Volibear. No. I guess this is the only chance you ever get to say that. But
yeah, a lot of bears. It's
a lot
of bears in this game. In fact, I think all of the bears are in this game. There's no. Oh no, then we don't have Annie. We're missing Tibbers. If Tibbers was here, it would be Flash Bear Summon Slap.
Hey, would Tibbers be a brawler if she came to TFT?
Would Tibbers is its own champion?
No, like...
Well, because Annie's a sorcerer.
What if Annie summons Tibbers, and then Tibbers counts as another champion?
That would be busted.
It's like...
That would be the most
Elementalist synergy?
I get.
But the Daisy counts as a...
Yeah, Daisy. I suppose. So, what? Annie just comes with Tibbers.
Annie.
No, I think Tibbers. Like, if you were to do that, Tibbers would just have to. Whoa, some moonwalk in there coming out. LonelyNumber.
What was that?
But no. Oh my gosh! Here comes that wombo. This is that Yasuo comp from Forest Lake, blowing up Ormiston. 2 kills picked up in quick succession. F14, the last man standing, is going to try and defend this tower as Ractic shows up to help push. Minions not really there to help keep it sustained. So mid tower survives for now.
Yeah, this game has almost evolved to a who's the better Yasuo and who has a better team comp for Yasuo. And right there, oh wow. Applesbrew really had no chance to react to anything.
And we have more action actually happening down below. Numbers are in Ormiston's favor, and they get that kill onto BakaKami. They might want more. Actually, 2 kills going over to Lolitron. So a nice return on the bot side. Will these 2 powers of 3 meet? Well, not without red buff. Lolitron does pick it up. Flash is available. Should they opt to rush it? Nuff stepping forward, but VeryBadBunny trying to fall for the bait, I suppose, is able to pick up the Sona, but can he escape? Has to flash to get out as the rest of the team is brawling above him. Ractic going on a rampage on this Volibear. Unfortunately, VeryBadBunny does fall, but Lolitron is able to try and get away. Follow-up flash from the Venus gets the slow, but LonelyNumber from below is able to push him back. Is this a slowing Cho'Gath? It is. Does not connect with the Rupture, however, but Ractic is just getting whittled away. Ace in the hole does not take the Volibear down, and the blasting code, it stops the recall, but that's okay. They are safely over the wall.
I like that teamwork right there at the end, coming out of the Malphite and Volibear right there. Malphite waiting at the blast cone for Volibear. It's like, come on, I got the ship ready. We're running out of here. Slap. Oh, did he slap? Who slapped it?
There's a lot of slaps.
Malphite also slaps.
Yeah, Malphite also. Everyone slaps in this game. Like, the only one who's not really slapping, I feel like, it's Caitlyn. Because you can, smack someone with the butt of a gun.
Sona also kind of slaps.
Yeah, yes.
A little bit. Like a switch slap.
The musical slap.
Yeah. There's a lot of unarmed slapping going on.
Yeah, a lot of it's the flailing. And then
you have Volibears.
Yeah, Volibears. Yeah, a lot of slaps. A lot of angry slapping in this game. Hopefully not angry slapping on the keyboard, because that equals bad play when you're just going like this is how I play.
I prefer to use my face.
No, that's how you play Aatrox. Oh yeah, you play top, so that's probably, yeah, there we go.
Look, I mean, Aatrox, not to be rude, Aatrox is just a bad movement right now.
Ooh.
No revive?
Oh, BakaKami in a lot of trouble, getting slapped a lot, but Lolitron with the burn able to pick it up. I thought for a moment there Baka was going to escape.
Yeah, the BM, I guess coming out of Lolitron, you know, you're already dead. The dot will kill you.
Yeah, Fist of the North Star.
Yeah, right there.
Fist of the North Star.
You're already dead.
Oh. I'm just picturing Udyr actually kind of fits that anime.
It does fit it quite well, honestly.
Umaru Genshiro. Lolitron actually might be getting caught out right now. Ractic flipping him back into the team and getting the shutdown. The bear traps connecting enough members of Forest Lake means Ormiston should be able to escape. Ormitron, the Transformer mascot for the Ormiston High School. Shout out to him. I've just made him up. Ormitron.
We do have. This game is everything about bears and slaps. We have Caitlyn with the bear traps.
Yeah, Caitlyn with the. Of course.
Oh my god. This game. What is
You're
happening?
up against an Udyr. You need to drop the bear
The
trap.
teams like organize this beforehand?
Maybe.
Dude, perfect. Oh, let's go for the Baron attempt right now. We do know that Lolitron is dead, so very good call coming out for us. However, do they have enough damage? They do have Mountain Drake, but
I don't know, but here comes Ormiston stepping forward, and they're going to try and turn this round into a fight. A lot of damage, so much so that the crescendo is not enough for the save. And in the middle of it all is LonelyNumber. He was very lonely, surrounded by 5 members. 2 people go down for Ormiston, and that will be Baron for Forest Lake.
Applesbrew, maybe he got a little bit sad at you calling Caitlyn using the gun, not slapping. So she definitely decided to step up into melee range and see if she could definitely slap some of her own, but didn't work so well.
Unfortunately, not the smartest idea from the Sheriff of Pit Lover right there. Kate's Caitlyn. She plays from a range. She slaps people with her sniper bullets, not so much with the butt of her gun. And losing the Caitlyn, losing the Cho'Gath, they have lost Baron, and now they're losing towers as well. Forest Lake very happy to siege at the moment. Yes, F14 is kind of split pushing on the top lane, but he needs to return, otherwise this inhibitor might fall. Look at the damage coming through on that tower, just in big chunks. Ractic, maybe staying a bit too long, taking a few too many tower hits. The tower stands on a sliver of health at the moment. Yes, it goes. The cannon does the work and brings the tower down.
Forest Lake does back, but Yasuo is hitting the inhibitor tower right now.
Yeah, 14 is still trying to get the split push, and they've stopped the back. Ractic in trouble. No flash available, but the chilling smite is, so they slow him down. In fact, they're trying to turn around, but there's no follow-up damage. Venus kind of blowing that ultimate for not much, and it's really buying time for the rest of the team to react. F14 on the flank into that blasting cone is able to follow up onto Ractic, and he's trying to bring him down, but help from VeryBadBunny takes out F14 instead. Meanwhile, the rest of the team's fighting a huge crescendo, holds Ormiston in place, and they want to turn this around. Lolitron running into the Volibear, running into the Alistar, a huge ace, and the whole helps get a kill. This Udyr is going crazy. A triple kill before Lolitron falls. VeryBadBunny in a bad situation, gets a nice shield, should be able to walk away on a sliver of health. 3 for 2 in the end in favor of Ormiston.
Wow, what an aggressive play out of Ormiston. They're not here to get played around and toyed with. They lose the mid tower. However, they definitely capitalize by catching people off guard. And a little bit of miscommunication coming out of Forest Lake right there. Malphite using the ulti, but no follow-up coming through. And I guess he was trying to save the Volibear, but he didn't really need to be saved right there. They do lose the Infernal Drake as of that.
I feel as if there's kind of miscommunication across the board, really, from both teams. Like, yes, those team fights are fun to watch and super exciting, but it didn't feel like a cohesive team fight. It just felt like 4 brawls happening at the same time, and like no real structure or organization to it. It's just sort of like everyone's playing C champion, fight champion, and not trying to group and play as a team. This was most seen when Nuff dropped that crescendo. I believe it hit like 2 or 3 people at Forest Lake, but everyone on the team instead like went around the back and started going for someone else. I thought that was where Ormiston was honestly going to wipe Forest Lake, but because that like cohesion wasn't there, because they're not calling targets and sticking to them, these team fights look like a fiesta. They look like a mess. It's just champions thrown about everywhere.
It's a little bit of a battle royale first.
Yes.
And then whoever remains alive, let's group up again and let's fight a team fight. So right now, it's definitely more of that kind of individual fights going on around. However, I guess that is in favor of Ormiston, as they do have the better duelers on the team comp. And Yasuo, although a bit behind on the KDA, but CS-wise, he's definitely picking it up and secures himself 3 items actually. IE, Static Shiv, and Bloodthirster, a very strong Yasuo that definitely cannot be overlooked.
And this was actually something we were going to talk about at the start of this game before we got distracted by the game itself. F14's Yasuo, I wrote at the start of this, knows how to Yas, but in brackets next to it, may overextend. His KDA is less than impressive, but his CS per minute is huge and his win rate is huge. And to me, this tells me he's the type of player who likes to get that lead, play the side lane, kind of stay there. Yes, he might overextend and get caught out. Yes, he might, draw pressure and get into 2v1 situations, and here comes the wombo. The target is F14, and he will fall, actually. BakaKami is the one to watch because the Kai'Sa's been jumped on by Lolitron. No AD carry means no damage. Ace in the hole, also forcing VeryBadBunny away. Ractic coming from the flank is actually able to get onto Applesbrew, and the Volibear chomps down on this Caitlyn. Ractic on his own, but it's still so tanky, still so much alive. Zmeuu trying to get something with the headbutt pulverize, does not connect, and the kill is returned back onto the Alistar. Ractic in trouble, trying to run away, but the stun is there. 2 kills going over to Ormiston to end the fight.
Wow, Lolitron taking over the game right there. Flash bear slap onto the Kai'Sa. It casts 2 hits. Kai'Sa's dead. Kai'Sa really cannot do much right there. And Lolitron goes in and then he plays it really well. He doesn't go fully commit. He assassinates one player. He waits around for his team and then goes back in. He's never really doing a solo mission as the Udyr. And right there, we definitely see Forest falling a bit apart in the team fights. We see a bit of kind of someone wants to commit and the rest wants to run away. Right there.
Yes.
Alistar again. They were in a pretty safe situation. It was I believe 2-for-2. And then Alistar decides to go back in, but they have no damage left. Without Sylas, they do not do any damage with the Volibear and Alistar alone. Alistar goes in, gets a pulverize, but instantly gets melted, and then just Volibear left, and then Sylas really can't do much. He was on 200 HP for the entirety of the remainder of that fight.
What I find interesting as well is both AD carries, Applesbrew and BakaKami, were the first ones to die in the fight for their sides. And to me, that tells me, the team's not actually playing around their AD carries whatsoever. They're more concerned about smashing through that front line than protecting their own back line. And this needs to change. I think whichever team is actually able to sort of fix up their team fighting a bit more, protect their damage dealers, they're going to be the ones that win this game. And at this stage of it, it could go either way.
Yeah, definitely. These team fights have been very close, and it's always a bloodbath among the teams. And Kai'Sa, 1-6 and 5, but she does have 3 items, and Caitlyn a bit behind on terms of the items.
And look at the gold right now. We are 30 minutes into the game, and it is near even. This is definitely one of the closest games we have seen on stream so far, especially for the road to Ekka as well. Really, both games were close. Last week, we saw that great comeback out of Injured Pilly. This game has already gone a bit longer, but it's been so much more even. Forest Lake, though, as 5, this is what they want to do. They want to be grouped. They want to find that pick, get that wombo. They're trying to chase down Lolitron. Not going to find him this time around. Lolitron actually forced to run towards the red base. But with all 5 members chasing, that leaves a Baron open for Ormiston to take.
What a rotation coming out of Ormiston. And a misplay coming out of Forest. They got the Yasuo ulti on the side, but they got too greedy chasing around one player from the side of Forest Lake. So now Ormiston can do this Baron, but they don't do it very fast. However, with the addition of Yasuo right now, they can definitely secure it. And with the Cho'Gath.
Cho'Gath's actually getting quite low as we're seeing the pause come out. Very awkward timing for that. But yeah, this Baron is going to be going over to Ormiston. Forest Lake, they're acting none the wiser. There wasn't even question mark things. There wasn't any indication. No one panicked running.
No one kind of knew that they were going for Baron. And right now they're hovering around the bot side jungle and stuff, where they could have snuck in, get the inhibitor and get out. They lose the Baron, but if they get the inhibitor, they still get that advantage. Yeah,
it's
get something back.
No, but in this situation, it doesn't look like Forest Lake is going to walk away with anything. And this is catastrophic for the red side. This could be the play that actually might win it for Ormiston. I feel the way the game has been going for the past 10 minutes, it still has been Forest Lake being the aggressors, still being the ones pushing. And I think Ormiston might be relying on the Baron buff to maybe start making those proactive plays. I believe now they might start pushing forward. They might be getting those deeper wards because they have that push from those Baron-empowered minions. I still feel any team fight can turn the sway of this game in either direction. Next team fight will probably determine this one for who wins and who loses, but Ormiston looking pretty good at the moment.
Yeah, pretty good, especially with the Baron buff. They have Udyr and Yasuo, 2 very strong split pushes. Right now, they can do the 1-3-1 split push very easily, along with the Baron buff. However, the thing that they need to be very careful of is the engage coming out of Forest Lake. If they have pretty much the Caitlyn being in flash ulti range of the Malphite, they get wiped instantly.
Well, it's not just the Caitlyn I'm worried about as well, though. I'm watching this Yasuo, the F14.
Oh, yeah.
And like the way how he plays the side lanes, he doesn't care if he lives or dies. He's just going to go.
Straight in.
And I feel like in this situation, he needs to survive. The team's vision needs to be in place. They need to be playing conservatively. Otherwise, they might, even with Baron, kind of give it up by getting caught out if they hard commit to this 1-3-1 and don't play it correctly. So definitely doesn't spell the end for Forest Lake losing this Baron. I think this is going to be critical for Ormiston's team composition and how they want to do it. But now they'll just have to execute, and I'm scared that they might get caught out in that attempt.
Yeah, definitely need a lot of communication going on between the side lanes and the middle lane. To know who's missing, how many people in the mid lane. Can I keep pushing? And if they lose vision, for Yasuo to smartly back off a little bit, wait for the rotation. If the rotation is coming, he backs off. And then the mid lane can shove it in. So the mid lane gets the pressure now. However, if they do not rotate towards Yasuo's lane, Yasuo can reappear and keep pushing. So just this constant shift of pressure between that will make Forest Lake very annoyed because they really don't know which lane to focus. Yasuo's shoving in bot, we should go bot. But then when we go there, he's not here, and then they're shoving down mid. So it's a very kind of intricate place that Ormiston is in right now. It's definitely depend on the communication and the players' decision making to see if they can secure.
And it's the case too where Forest Lake has to commit to one of these lanes, as you were mentioning. They can't really afford to split up and match what Ormiston is doing because Ormiston is designed to win those skirmishes. So if they do opt to split up, Ormiston's going to be like, sweet, we're now going to take that kill. Because we have the damage at this stage. We win in sort of like these 2v2, 3v3 situations. Forest Lake has to be committed as a team, find that right opportunity as a team, take it, and then push Ormiston back in that regards. So it really just comes down to Ormiston in not allowing Forest Lake to find those opportunities. It still could go either way. Like this game is just really on the, that like needle's edge as we get back into this one. As you can see, as expected, Baron has been taken. Sigh of relief, LonelyNumber didn't fall. It does look like it was close for, the Glacial Augment Cho'Gath, something that definitely I was not expecting to see.
Cho'Gath.
Yeah, it is AP Cho'Gath.
I did not see that.
Well, I saw the spooky ghosts before this, and I'm like, it's a Glacial Cho'Gath. Interesting. Where's Yumi? Sorry, not Yumi. Where's the Frozen Mallet?
Oh, no.
I'm getting my TFT references wrong. What am I doing?
Where's the Yumi is sorcerer?
Yumi is sorcerer. Which makes no sense because Yumi's always sitting on 80 carries. Meanwhile, the Death Bush. Then you do fall at Lolitron. You saw it was there. But it's so tanky. He buys so much time in the crescendo. Connects with 4. A huge Yasuo ult, and Ormiston is actually winning this fight. Zmeuu goes down as well. Into the Dragon Pit goes F14, and he is wiping the floor with Forest Lake. He does fall. Ace in the hole does a bit of damage. Only 2 members from the red side are trying to run away. BakaKami being run down by LonelyNumber and Nuff. Will this Kai'Sa be able to escape? The damage from the Sona is huge. BakaKami trying to bounce back the other way, using Flash, but the follow-up flash is there. LonelyNumber gets the kill, and only Ractic survives.
What a team fight coming out of Ormiston right there. Lolitron, he goes for the Death Rock, but he's so tanky. He soaked up so much time and damage from the side of Forest Lake that his whole team could end up collapsing. Nuff right there, good reaction, straight up crescendo, locking down almost every member of Forest Lake. The Death Rush really doesn't work when your whole team comp is to find that perfect engage.
The perfect engage should not be on Lolitron.
Ormiston should be the ones doing a Death Rush. They're the ones trying to lock down single target. Forest Lake should be just in the open trying to get that. Ooh.
This bear trying to 1v3. So it doesn't actually look as if Ormiston is going to get too much from that team fight, at least just yet. What I find interesting, again, though, is, Forest Lake, they kind of blew their wombo combo onto the Udyr, who was tanky enough to eat most of it, buy enough time for that massive crescendo out of Nuff. And with the wombo combo gone, Forest Lake really doesn't have too much in that team fight except for BakaKami, who wasn't actually there. BakaKami was on the other side of the wall, focusing on the dragon at the time. No. It was a misplay from Forest Lake, but they don't get punished too hard, and that kind of surprises me.
Ormiston lost the DPS for the towers right there. They lost the Yasuo and the Udyr, so it's very hard for them to kind of take towers at this stage.
Forest Lake is actually going into the base. A huge double knockup from the Venus, gets 1 kill onto Nuff. A good windwall is able to save Lolitron, at least for now. Applesbrew trying to do what they can. A lot of damage on the VeryBadBunny as here comes Cho'Gath on the flank. LonelyNumber so low goes down, but so does LonelyNumber. Zmeuu in a lot of trouble, will get run down by Ormiston, and they want more. A great knockup onto Ractic. onto this Volibear. I don't see this one getting away this time. He will walk towards the base to buy time. He does fall, and 2 members survive from Forest Lake.
What a back and forth team fight this was. Forest Lake getting the early pick onto the Sona. However, they got the support, they got rid of Crescendo, but at what cost? They used 2 major ultis at the to just pick off the support, and then a very good engage coming out from the side of Ormiston right there. Udyr and Yasuo being able to go in.
Applesbrew still has the Baron buff as well, and with that, Baron and Power minions are getting into the base. The inhibitor's health bar will fall so quickly. There is not more the Venus can do. Finally, some help arrives in VeryBadBunny. 5 seconds till BakaKami is there, but they want Nexus towers. Malphite pushing away F14, who has to slowly walk off for now. It does appear so Ormiston is going to reset, but it seems that Forest Lake is still playing aggressive, even against the Baron buff. But Ormiston is like, all right, we're just going to take these fights, we're going to win them, and we're going to take small advantage, and we're going to take small advantage. Forest Lake is losing this game while being on the blue side of the map.
Yeah, definitely. No, Forest Lake, their major issue right now is that the Kai'Sa cannot DPS. The Kai'Sa over the last 2 team fights have pretty much gotten one-shotted by the Yasuo pretty much every fight. And Ormiston, they have 2 melee DPS carries who are very tanky, as well as do a lot of damage with lifesteals and survivability.
Oh, Lolitron may be getting cut out. The headbutt pulverize does connect, but no follow-up is there. They don't want to, you know, repeat that same mistake of dropping everything onto this Udyr, so no commitment. What I find interesting, though, is you're absolutely correct in that, like, BakaKami keeps getting one-shot by F14, but this team has an Alistar, it has a Volibear. The peel should be there to protect the Kai'Sa. We just aren't seeing it yet because Forest Lake is so committed to trying to make these plays and playing around VeryBadBunny instead. I'm curious if they'll be able to adjust their play style, if they'll find that like sweet spot and maybe win that team fight for once, or if that's going to be their downfall. It could really be any of those 3 options at this stage of the game.
Yeah. Kai'Sa really needs to kind of play safer a little bit, I would say. Kai'Sa, one of the shortest range ADCs in League of Legends. And right there, you know, every time she tries to go in for the auto attack, Yasuo was very good tornadoes, just able to lock her down. So Kai'Sa, you know, stay back a little bit, wait for the Yasuo ultis to go off, then go in once you know that all CC threats are gone. That's the time that you really get to shine as the late game carry. And definitely, she has definitely outscaled Caitlyn already, especially who went for the GA 3rd item. Very defensive, but definitely prevents her from dying.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised considering how many times Ractic has been able to get into the back line and get onto Applesbrew. The GA makes a lot of sense, and it might be what swings one of these team fights, because I don't believe Ractic can get in that back line and kill Caitlyn twice. Yeah. Maybe once, not twice.
Not twice.
And if Ractic goes down and Applesbrew is still standing, I feel like that's team fight and possibly game 1 for Ormiston.
Really?
Elder Dragon.
Ormiston just ready right now.
That was some risky bait right there, especially with the Glacial Augment on the opposing side. Unfortunately for Ormiston, the Spooky Boos do come out too late, but the Elder Dragon has been started. It's already low, and they have a Cho'Gath. Elder Dragon secured for Ormiston, and now they want to fight. Here comes F14. He gets 2 with his own ultimate, as the rest of Forest Lake joins it. A huge double knockup as Lolitron goes on a killing streak. But look at F14. He is shredding through Ormiston right now, and they are winning this fight with the help of the Elder Dragon. 4 members down. Ormiston has just won this one.
Best slap right there to secure the final Malphite. What a comeback coming out of Ormiston right now. This should be game secured. Just what a comeback coming out of Ormiston. They do not win the team calls. However, they definitely do win in terms of DPS right there. Sylas is very strong and definitely very fed, but however, he can really only burst down one character. And on the side of Ormiston, there's 3 very consistent damage carries who are also very tanky. And in the end, just able to clutch this one out.
As the Nexus falls, so does Forest Lake in this one. Ormiston, they bid their time, they found their opportunities, they secured that Elder Dragon, and with it, they secured the game-winning fight. F14, I feel like, came up huge in that one. He was just slicing and dicing through that front line. Yes, it was the Udyr getting the kills, but he's just good at last hitting, I feel like, in this situation. A fantastic game, really, from both these teams. It was very exciting, very action-packed, almost exactly what we were looking for when we were looking at these 2 teams. A little bit of spice, a little bit of fiesta to it, but I love my enchiladas. In fact, I'm probably going to get one after this. We're done here. I'm in the mood for my Mexican food, and that was really a treat. Let's go straight into MVP, though. If we had to pick one person who you feel stood out in this game, who do you feel that was?
I'm going to give it to Lolitron.
Lolitron?
Udyr, after the first death was he definitely still got the kill. They secured the advantage onto the Volibear at the start, although he went down. However, after that, he's just being really on top of his plays in terms of ganking. And although his team was behind, in fact, very behind in the early game, early to mid, however, he has been the one to clutch it out during the team fights to get the triple kill, double kill, a lot of the 20-minute mark team fights, and really securing the little advantages and a little comeback gold for his team. And in the end, he's finally able to let his Yasuo carry and the Caitlyn to start doing damage. So I guess he was the one who kind of stalled the game for Ormiston.
I agree. In the sense that, like, you know what, I'm going to go ahead. Yes, 100%, I agree with what you've said. I think that Udyr played fantastic that game. So Lolitron, I'm looking at him at the MVP, but I do want to give an honorable mention to LonelyNumber on the Cho'Gath, actually, because thinking back to the beginning of the game, like the first 15, 20 minutes, where we're looking at Forest Lake and they're starting to snowball, they're starting to get kills. There was opportunities for more things to be had, but I just remember a few clutch ruptures that actually saved Lolitron, of all people, multiple times and kind of kept them in it. So, you know, clutch plays, 100%. Give it to LonelyNumber, but Lolitron was the one who took it over. That said, we do have some replays I want to take a look at, and let's just take a look. The first one was this mid push coming from Forest Lake. It looked really strong, but then Ormiston was able to turn it around. I believe we're going to see it coming up right about now.
You missed it.
I tried to predict it. I try my best. I think I heard the producer groan.
Yeah, backstage.
Yeah, I heard it groan. Just like, it was on you. I also like at the moment we're getting the message. Other games today, let's talk. We're going to be talking about those as well, explaining those results. All I see is win. And so we get to our team fight. Here we are. Yeah, so looking at this one, Lolitron, you know, trying to force Forest Lake back, perhaps, you know, going a bit too deep, like specifically in the terms of F14, like he went way in there, Ractic turning it around. And this is what I meant before, after this fight, how it was just brawls across the board. Like there's no real fight communication happening anywhere. Ractic running back in on no health just to die, essentially. But hey, they bought time, they held Lolitron in place, so he will go fall. Just one after the other. It was chaos.
It was complete madness. Even right there, Sylas steals the Sona ulti, lands a triple crescendo. However, no follow-up right there, as you know, people are too focused on other parts of the map. And then Lolitron running amok in the backlines of the team, getting a triple kill for himself before going down to the Sylas. And I believe before F14, a bit too greedy, unleashes his full combo onto the Volibear, who just happens to be the tankiest member of his team, and then gets killed by Sylas, who comes to help. But overall, a good comeback for Ormiston, definitely a good collapse, especially because before that team fight, we did have F14 split pushing in the bot side. So it was definitely a great flank, great communication. So that was very good. And then communication for that, but then after that, a little bit shaky again.
Yeah, after that, perhaps a little bit shaky. But what that team fight did do was start spelling out how the rest of the game was going to go. Following that play, Ormiston was starting to win fights like of greater and greater importance and in more and more decisive fashion. The next big team fight, they did win 4-2, as we're going to see with our next replay here. It's sort of like, all right, this was the play around the dragon with the Death Bush setup, which unfortunately did not work for Forest Lake at all. The DPS wasn't there. They were focused on the dragon. F14, we're starting to see what he was capable of. He tried to go in deep there. He did fall, maybe a little too deep, but at this stage, it was already over. Most of Forest Lake was dead. A good escape coming out of BakaKami, trying to go back through him, but LonelyNumber, too big at this stage.
Yeah, this was the Death Bush setup coming
out. The Death Bush.
Yep, however, who really got the Death Bush?
Well, you call it a Death Bush. It was just the people who were in the bush who happened to fall. So it was their own Death Bush. It was their own Death Bush for Forest Lake.
However, right there, you know, Forest Lake, they have the advantage of team fights with the Wombo combo. They shouldn't be the ones, you know, be scared for a fight and, you know, set up a really cheeky Death Bush for them to come in. So they should be kind of openly looking for fights with the Malphite ulti and the combos. Have a good turnaround.
Yep, as we get ready for our last team fight, this was the Elder Dragon fight. Unfortunately, Forest Lake was a bit too late in trying to stop it right now, and then they kind of stuck around too long. A good little knockup from F14, and just watch this Yasuo go, shredding everyone. The crescendo coming in super clutch as well, and with that Ormiston, they had the damage, they had the unity. That was the clean team fight that I wanted to see earlier. They win it, they make it look easy, and from that, they win the game. Ormiston great little comeback from them.
Definitely. And again, Udyr right there. And I've said, Forest have been losing team fights because the Kai'Sa wasn't allowed to DPS at all, or even just be in the fight. And right there, we see Lolitron diving straight for the Kai'Sa, keeping her out of the fight and taking her out. So Lolitron, great placements, positioning in the team fight. However, good knock-up for F4 team to start off the entire fight and to safely win wall and dash out of danger after that, so which was very well played.
So well played indeed coming out of Ormiston, but as I mentioned before, we do have results from our other games played today, specifically KG3 coming out on top of the Chisholm Chiefs. A bit of an upset there in my opinion. SPS Legacy did get the win over Kelvin Grove. Maroochydore fell to Intrapilli, so Intrapilli winning their second game over Maroochydore. That's a bit of an upset, I believe. So the Yeetbix looking quite strong.
Soggy Yeetbix.
Soggy Yeetbix. Yeah, soggy's important. Craigsley also got the win over CAC, and what I think is the biggest upset, the Miramax Sparkle Squad took down Kelvin Grove 4. So the state champions actually fell to the Sparkle Squad. I mean, look, Kelvin Grove 4 did play at the national level. Unfortunately, it didn't go the way that they were hoping for. They have dropped out of said competition at this stage. And really, I'm worried about their mental because they drop out of the national stage. They're now dropping to the Sparkle Squad, a team that I feel like they've beaten earlier in that season.
Very comfortably.
So Kelvin Grove, they need to regroup, especially as we get closer and closer to these Ekka games. I feel like if they're going to be making a showing there, they need to be mentally prepared for it. It's definitely, I'm going to be curious in following that team and see where they go from here. I want to see them rebound, obviously, because we want to root for our skills, but definitely a huge win, though, for the Sparkle Squad. When you beat the state champions, I'm sure you just feel on top of the world.
Completely. You know, if we go by the unofficial World Championships, that's if we're counting that right now.
Yeah, they would be taking
Merrimack would be taking it right now.
Merrimack is now, the official Queensland champions. I think I just swallowed a fly. My apologies, please.
Right there, I believe.
I did.
KG4, definitely a little bit of what I like to call a ranky total war.
All right, my apologies. I literally just swallowed a fly. That was horrible. It's still there. I can feel it. Let's wrap things up because I need to go deal with something right now. Once again, thank you all for tuning in to the Road to Ekka, hosted here at the University of Queensland. It's been a blast having you as well, George. Always love casting with you. A big thank you for everyone watching. A big thank you for all of our players playing both on and off stream on this Road to Ekka. If you are a high school and you want to get involved, there are still a couple weeks left to sign up and for your chance to play on that Ekka stage. So look us up at UQU Esports. You're already on the Twitch channel, so it's an easy follow-up from there. I have been Max Formal Casting. Rito, Riot, not yet. Maybe one day, fingers crossed. George, 99.95 Editor. Thank you all so much and have a good night.